Let's talk about design today. First, what is design? Design is creative problem solving. Design is what links creative and innovation. Design is a translation of the idea. A design doesn't need to be new, different, or impressive to be successful in the marketplace, as long as it's fulfilling a need. But design methods do lead to innovation products and service. So, what is good design? Good design is aesthetic, understandable, unobtrusive, honest, long-lasting, accurate, green, simple, innovation, and useful. There are four basic principles of design. They are proximity, alignment, contrast, and repetition. And of course, your own creative in the design. Let's talk about proximity first. Proximity basically means a space. Good design should look like a one understandable unit rather than multiple units. We need to think about is how will the reader's eye move over your design. The basic purpose of the proximity is to organize your work by grouping related items into closer proximity. Your work can become more organized. And if it's organized, it is easy to read and it's easier to be remembered. So try to group your elements together, but maintain breathing room. The next one is alignment. Alignment is a visual connection with something else. You must make sure to align elements in order to strengthen your overall design. This is pretty much in the same vein as when you create a visual hierarchy. When elements are aligned, your page has a strong cohesive unit, and you should always find some elements to align with on the page. Try to avoid two things. One is using more than one text alignments, and the other one is try to avoid using centered alignments. Here you can see a bad example of alignment. Above is a sample Facebook post for a fine dining restaurant. Everything is centered aligned and pretty forgetful. Well, there's nothing really wrong with it. It just can be done more effectively. Look at what happened when we move everything right and add a simple vertical strip along the right side. While none of the content changed, there's a better overall feel of the piece. Don't you agree? For the next two pictures, remember two things. First, if you master center, make it look like you mean it. Number two, be in the center, not in the middle. Center aligning things isn't always a bad thing, but when you masked, make it look like it was a specific design decision, not a random thought. As you see above, by making everything more narrow and calling attention to the center by encasing everything in a colored box, it looks like I put everything there for a reason, not my software default setting. Another way to add excitement to a center-aligned element is to move it off-center. Yes, the text shares a central line with itself, but the entire entity is moved off-center of the page. This, again, adds a little excitement to the piece, which is always better than boring. The next thing we are talking about is repetition. Repetition is exactly how it sounds. It's how keeping things consistent. With repetition, you just simply want to repeat the elements of design throughout the whole project to make it cohesion. It could be as simple as bold font, a line occurring color, design element. It can be anything that user could recognize. Repetition is usually used to unify, strengthen the piece together by trying different parts, and also creates a visual interest. Let's look at an example. What do you see in this picture? Yes, it's repetition. Then let's talk about contrast. This idea simply states that you want to add some differentiations between your elements. This can be easily achieved by using contrast colors, sizes, weight, and the typefaces with your design. Using contrast will attract viewers to your design. Contrast can be created in several ways. It can be done by using large tab with a small tab, in older style font and a new style font, a thin line with a thick line. Contrast has two purposes. One is create an interest on a page. One is to aid in the organizations of the information. So let's review what we learned. There are 4 basic principles, which are proximity, alignment, contrast, and repetition in design. And in the last, there is something you need to remember, is to use blank space. New designers always tend to forget the principle of white space. They often try to fill the entire page, but it's important to remember that in design, less is more. Thank you for watching.